Hey, sorry for interrupting. This is Perry Kurtz, and I just want to tell you I've got a new podcast. I know you're saying, oh, great, another one. Well, this one's different. It's called Happy News with Perry Kurtz. Happy news, good stuff, things to make you feel good about life. We're going to be talking to famous and infamous people that are friends of mine and discussing the happy news. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, CastBox, and wherever you listen to your podcasts, as well as watching us on Binge on This on YouTube.
All right, here we are. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, episode 39 of This, That, and the Other. I am your friendly neighborhood co-host, Bryan.
And I am Sam, sitting here chilling.
And we're back on schedule. That's right, we were off one schedule, but that's why you guys got a double dose.
Did you post a Denny's episode?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't see it.
Yeah, episode 30, episode 38, aptly titled.
Oh, it's not on YouTube, huh?
No, well, no, because it's running on mine right now, yeah.
Damn.
But episode 38 brought to you by the Grand Slam from Denny's. That's the title. The literal title is brought to you by the Grand Slam from Denny's. I hope we get a call from the lawyers, dog. So we're back.
God.
We're back on right. They're gonna be like,
they got your number on there, right?
they're gonna be like, binge on this. How about you binge on these waffles in court? And I'll be like, no, Denny's, no.
Have some syrup with that.
I'll be like, I hope I see that giant ass pancake mascot there, punks. We're back on schedule. We hope you guys have enjoyed What's Hood with Forever Cabron. And
I have, yeah. It's been fun.
it has been a wonderful ride, a wonderful addition. The numbers are coming in pretty good, strong. There's a couple people in England. Random countries are popping up on the map a little bit. We broke 1,000 downloads. I know that's tiny, but that's 1,000 downloads. That's 1,000 downloads, though. Think about that.
1,000 people listened.
That's you and me times 500 times. That's
No.
500.
What?
Right? That's five. That's if
2 times
That's if there
five.
were 500 of us.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
Don't. I don't. Yeah.
I was like, wait, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this?
Which has been really great. We're really happy to have him on board. Perry, as always, is doing good. A little update there. He's getting stuff set up on his end. We're gonna have some more happy news coming in. We're taking it in a Ron Burgundy direction. It's gonna be if the man can't get his guests, fine. But we're gonna do a bit like a thought spiral, Andy Kindler kind of.
That's what I thought the original thing was. It was about him just talking about good news.
No, Perry just sold me on an impossible dream of the 1,000 guests he was gonna have on the show, and I said, "Fine, Perry, that's
Let's
fine."
do it.
I said,
Can
let's
you do it?
And so, but now, yeah, so I think we're going to take it that way. So there's going to be definitely more of that. And then, well, I forgot about today. I would have liked to do some more olden times TV, but aren't I sitting on 2? What was the last 2 that we did?
I have no idea.
I feel like I'm
ago.
sitting on 2. I'll
I
have
feel
to
like
check.
You're probably sitting on
I have
2
to check.
also.
But we thank you guys so much right off the bat. I do want to say thank you to the Urban Tree Network as well as the Tree Network. I got a message the other day. Guess what?
What, sir?
The table is getting ready, my friend.
Oh, yeah?
They're
Are they
piecing
growing the
it
tree?
Together. Nope. Boards and planks have been cut. They're going to be
Yeah.
designing the table and throwing it all together. And then they're going to be...
Nice. So they just how do you put one table together? How is this? Is
I
this
don't know,
glued
dog.
or nailed?
He's going to... Yeah, I don't know. He's got a secret thing going on. But if you guys want to see how he does it or what type of wood he's going to use, go check him out on Instagram. That's Urban Tree Network
Check
on
his
Instagram.
wood out on Instagram.
Check his wood out at the Tree Network as well. Great work. And if you're in the greater Des Moines area and you are in need of any type of arboreal conquests, make sure you hit my boys up at the Tree Network.
Get that wood.
Get the wood. That's not family friendly.
Hey, no, I mean, hey, you
Get
can't
the
that
literal wood.
Yeah, get some wood.
Get this wood. All right.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
down.
hit these notes. What do you got?
Well, you haven't watched that Snowden Joe Rogan thing. I watched that today. That was really insightful. Very scary, man. And honestly, just reading the comment section, I was kind of either disillusioned. Some people were talking about rise up, this and that, and it's just like, are you gonna rise up? You gonna rise up? They're listening to everything. They clearly
If you
are doing
didn't
it.
know that already, that's your own dumbass fault.
But basically, it was just incredible hearing the ins and outs and like what happened on 9/11 and this and that and like.
Oh, I know what happened on 9/11, dog.
Yeah.
We did a really good rap about 9/11.
Yeah, I know. And he talked about. He goes, he worked for the NSA and the CIA and all that stuff. He goes, but I was deep tech, like he did technical work. So he goes, I had keys to all the closets.
Probably,
And he says, I got to look everywhere. And he even said to Joe Rogan, he's like, I was curious about aliens too. He's like, I looked and looked and looked. He's like, he couldn't find shit on it.
He said no one knows where he is?
He found aliens.
No, Snowden.
I don't know.
He just called Joe in and was like, I want to be on the show?
Yeah, he's on the show. Or he was like on webcam and had a black tarp behind him and like
probably hiding behind like 4 different VPNs, like getting routed through Saudi Arabia.
He could have been up at Joe Rogan's.
That'd have been great, like on the other side. Well, that sounds crazy.
And at one point, something happened with the screen, and Joe Rogan was kind of like they were dealing with the technical issue. He goes, "Is everything all right?" He goes, "Yeah, we just another screen popped up." He goes, "That's probably the FBI
trying to find me."
Yeah,
homie.
well, no, like popping in, chiming in, and he was laughing about it, but no, he said they're in every nook and cranny, and they hold on to all that information so that if they ever need to pull it up on you, they can just go and find anything.
Yeah.
And how Amazon has their make their own cloud, like internet cloud for the government and for all these other things, and
selling information off just like they
he
did
didn't
back
find
in the
anything
day.
about aliens. I was kind of disappointed. And he said, unless they really, really hit it, he goes, but like he goes, I combed everything.
He should know that they hit it.
Yeah, well,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Are you
Like,
trying to hold on to that one? No,
come on. Oh, there's always a puppet master, homie.
Yeah.
Always, bro. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. I will listen to that.
It's very
one, though.
interesting. It'll blow your mind.
It's good to reaffirm all the things that I already knew about this gosh darn government.
And he talked about how he was a patriot and how slowly started breaking down for him.
I believe it.
Seeing all the illegal stuff they were doing.
You watch the sausage get made enough. I've been listening to a lot of pardon me. I've been listening to a lot of cold case murder mystery and Dan Carlin in combination. Dan Carlin does a show called Hardcore History. So it's how I come in with all this knowledge about the Phoenicians and all that wild shit like that. And then Cold Case Murder Mystery is hosted by I think you'd like him. He is a single narrator who goes over cold case mysteries, but he analyzes the people's brains. But he's not like a psychologist. He's just doing it from an aspect of like
Just someone who's like, my intuition says this.
right, like
Okay.
he considers himself as having some type of brain abnormality that allows him to.
Oh, so he's a kook.
Right. Well, okay.
Hey,
how do I explain it
I
without?
hit my head in 4th grade, and that's why I draw.
No,
really good.
no. You would have to listen to him. The way he speaks is it's interesting. But so with those, no. It's if I could do it, it'd be like, he's like, and what? Oh, okay, here we go. I got you. And what Ted Bundy didn't know was that the darkness he was running from is the same darkness that's inside of all of us. It's inside of you.
So it's like lore a little bit.
It's inside of me.
It's a little lore like.
Kind of like lore. And then he's like, but then he goes into the details.
I'll
And he's
listen
like,
to it.
you
I
know,
like listening to if he's soft spoken and things like that. I listen to that shit before bed.
yeah, and then he'll get into this things where like, and I know some of you guys are gonna call me crazy, and yeah, I may not have a degree, but I know what the fuck I know. Every time since I don't have a degree, I die, and I keep. But I still, it's not. I've made my final run through. I've listened to all of them already. There are a couple I would genuinely go back to re-listen to. I don't know what were we talking about. Snowden.
Yeah, he doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have a degree.
Really?
He got in. He talks, dude. He kind of talked a lot, but he talks from being a kid all the way up to now.
Man.
Like he says everything. He talks like boom, boom,
Man,
boom,
he
boom,
must
boom.
be scared he's gonna die.
I don't know. He just came out with a book, so that's.
And they don't know where he is, right? I know I keep asking that.
I don't know.
but
He
like-
probably went somewhere they can't extradite him.
Right.
I
Did
don't
you
know.
see that Julian Assange got pulled out?
Dude, that thing is crazy.
He's all doped out and wired up and fucked
No,
up.
I
and-
think they just put him when you put someone in solitary confinement for so long, and then all of a sudden you stick him in front of a court, and they're asking him questions. He was just kind of like, "Look, guys, this is a lot. Like I'm scattered right now. You know,
I've been jacking off for 23 hours. Myself.
all I do is jack off."
They're like, this room was black when we came. What the fuck? Yeah, I think that's.
His beard. Yeah.
I think he's dead. I've said that several times before.
Yeah, but all right. In all of reality, what I think is that they're just fucking confining
Why do they
him.
still
He
have
said-
him with that beard?
but
Why do they
he's-
have him all shagged up and weird looking?
He even
and-
said it himself. The governments that are after him have unlimited resources, unlimited time, and they're just waiting it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
just waiting it out.
Yeah.
And so his life is fucked.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What
I
else?
would rather just go to jail at that point. Just be like, okay, guys, I'm going here. I'll go. Like,
Well-
if I'm in solitary confinement anyway, yeah, I'll go back to America. I'll just be general population, honestly.
Yeah, I guess. But he's not American though. He's Swedish, right?
I'll go to Sweden. Sweden's
got great
Yeah,
jails.
they got great jails. They fucking
Sweden has their own podcast station. They got start your own Swedish podcast as part of your reformant. Yeah, that's crazy. On the
think you'd be allowed
subject
to
of
be-
jail, and I just want to touch on this just for a quick second, because it's really sad. Well, it's not sad. And it's interesting. Do you remember when I told you about the guy who my old school hometown got accused of?
Oh, yeah.
So the verdict is in, my guy.
Well, he's fucking guilty, right?
50 years in the state penitentiary.
That sounds about right.
Admitted to 2
He admitted to it?
under investigation. So I get a message from one of my best
Well,
friends.
do you
want
want to let people know what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, I just kind of.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
That's
I
the
cut
beauty
you off.
about jumping in the know. That's
Yeah.
what it's about. So, so I have a friend of mine. Well, and interesting. How do you relate now at this point? Not you specifically, but I'm saying because
Was he
he
still-
was a friend. I grew up with this kid from 11 years old.
So
until-
it's a past tense. I had a friend.
Oh
Or-
yeah, I had a friend.
I
I have
friend.
an acquaintance.
Well, no, I had a friend back in high school. You basically say like,
yeah, I had a kid that I grew up with
yeah.
from.
I mean, if
middle
Joey
school to
Diaz
high
was here,
school.
you'd be like, I knew a guy who blew a guy who killed a
I
guy.
know a dude. So I knew this dude. I knew this guy. And this guy is a black kid. I grew up in a really white town. So we were automatically going to get pointed out for stuff. But recently, about 2 years ago, right in Koreatown, I think, I got the information that this young man had been arrested for potential
Allegedly at the time.
potentially for sexual assault and sexual allegations to minors. And I was kind of taken back by this because, again, I grew up with this kid.
Yeah, so he diddled minors is what they were saying.
Right, but it wasn't any of the kids that he was teaching at the dance studio.
So, okay, so he's a dancer diddling.
It was kids that at the adopted home that he lived at.
Oh, yeah. I remember this part now. Yeah.
So like, and so apparently it had been going on and for a couple years after high school. It looks like after everybody had graduated or whatever was going on. And so I had a buddy of mine hit me up in regards to this. Sent me an article. Was like, look, they sent it down and everything like that. I was like, damn. I was like, that's really sad.
That sucks. Yeah.
I was like, that sucks. It's
Well, I mean,
sad.
it sucks for the victims and.
Sucks for the victims. It sucks for it sucks for the victims. Well,
I wonder what, you could everyone. I don't
no,
know.
that's why I'm asking you. What do you?
Well, I was about to say you wonder what goes through the people's heads. But there's dark places in people's minds, and who knows? Who knows?
Well, normally I would look at it and I would say, imagine growing up as a Chinese kid in a white neighborhood. I would try and make those associations. But I was a brown kid in a white neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like I may not have been in the same adopted scenario as he was, but I was adopted. I was. So it's interesting. Like what happened? Like what happened at one point clicked in his head where he said,
Dude, he could have fucking just been. It could have been anything from he got raped. Because are you a product of your environment, or are you, or you know what I mean?
he had a great family though. That adopted family, they were perfect. Like they were.
Yeah, but how many times do you hear that, and then somebody was doing something, or you know what I mean? I'm not saying that the family did anything.
No, for sure. Who knows?
Or who knows? Cousins, maybe an uncle would come by every Thanksgiving and fucking give him the old one too. You don't know. And
I mean, I'm his uncle, so I would. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
my Snowden confession.
Like, it just like occurred to you. You're like, oh shit.
Oh shit, that's what happened.
Yeah, that one time.
The bushes.
The 3 times. I mean.
Well, you laugh through your pain, but
That's sad. That sucks. And
Crazy, right?
And it sucks to know someone, like that.
or to think you know someone. Imagine what other people are doing that you know better.
Well, I remember one of my the recently deceased grandmother. But her neighbor, like 4 houses down, the husband, happy family, 3 kids, came home, killed everybody, shot himself. Yeah, it was nuts. And she knew the grandmother, the mom. They're yeah. And then they had a funeral, and then
I should hope so.
Well, I mean, they had a
Just
funeral.
leave the bodies,
I think the funeral had the husband there too, or something. There was something like that. That was some scandalous thing that I was just like,
yeah, crazy.
So like, you think like, how do you know? Sometimes you don't know people, man. I've done some dark shit, but I was an addict and stuff. So I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, I've done. If anything, A is really forcing that into my brain. I'm kind of like, yeah, I've done some stuff, but I've never. I don't know. You know, what do you do when
you've never destroyed a life?
Yeah, that's.
We're both like, wait, have we?
You have to, yeah. There's a fine line, but you have to know when too much is too far. Like it's like that discussion about like what the people who draw the lolly porn, the like little kids, but it's drawing, and it's like, what is the fine line between like, you know? And then you have the argument, well, like let them draw that out. Like if they have some type of issue, then like, you know, it's and now especially in
it's
this
a
time,
victimless crime. Drawing
through that way,
yeah,
I
because
believe so.
Because when you start getting into censorship like that, it starts dipping into censorship of like you can't draw the prophet, you know. You can't paint a picture of Jesus or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I'm being an artist myself. I am completely against all kinds of censorship. If a child needs to be raped in that scene to make sense of why that, you know what I mean, in the movie, you see this horrible thing. What was that Kevin Bacon movie that was horrible?
Hollow Man. He rapes that chick and he's invisible, remember?
Well, there was that, but there was another one where these kids in Hell's Kitchen accidentally kill a man.
Sleepers.
Was it Sleepers?
With the hot dog cart.
Yes,
that's a book. Yeah.
So, and then whatever. So you have that. You can't censor. You know, because like we'll watch that and go, oh, that's horrible. I don't know. Maybe a pedo might like that scene and jerk off to it. Who knows? But just because there's someone can do that, like, do you censor everything?
I agree with you. I mean, I've always stood on the side of as long as it's not physically hurting anyone, and I don't believe we're at a point where drawings or anything like that would do it. Like, I think maybe you're breaching that if you were to start drawing pictures of the 8-year-old kid that was next to you, that lived next to you. And
you're just sitting at a park drawing, and they come by, oh, what are you drawing? The trees? And
it's just like the kid.
Like, a group or an orgy in the park.
It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting what happens when they come out and say there's literally something in those people's brains that is making them do this, and that there's nothing we can do but try and play ball.
Well, you got to think about it, man. Think about it this way. I don't know if I heard this or if I thought about this. Imagine getting caught doing something like that, like your old friend, risking getting caught for something like that, like just knowing that your life is over. Your life is over. No. You know what I mean? Everyone will look at you.
Oh, with you're done. You're a black guy who just did that in a white town.
Like. This and that, like even just black or white, just even touching a kid wrong and then having that and being on a registry, you go, you know, risking all of that to fulfill some little sexual
he must
urge.
Have felt so, yeah.
In my head, I'm like, there must be a compulsion. It's kind of like a drug compulsion where you're like, don't hit the pipe. You're gonna fucking go down that. You're gonna be selling your car. You're gonna lose your kids again. You know, and that's gonna happen. Yet they'll hit that. There's something. What's going on there? Like, what's that compulsion?
Yeah, just like some type of sexual deviance or just some type of
but
sexual.
I believe also like a lot of things. It's gray. So like it could have been childhood upbringing. It could have been broken in the brain. It could have been a tumor in a brain. It could have been he's just an evil motherfucker that was born rotten.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
And I think again it comes down to chemicals and brain structure and this and that. But are you a product of your environment or are you a product of you? Like are you born like that? Because normally, have you ever thought, you look at a 7-year-old, and usually if you think about yourself as a 7-year-old, you're the same. You haven't really changed. Yeah, you learned a bunch of shit, but your essence, you good, you bad, like you a shithead, are you funny, are you a goofball, are you energetic, are you not? Like, it's usually, you could see that in 7 and 8, and then all of a sudden, that's who you are.
Right.
If you're a rotten person, usually around 7 and 8, you're doing some rotten, broken shit. You know, that's why they say they start off killing cats and neighborhood whatevers, this and that. Or they're starting to tell their sister to pull their panties down for some fucking reason. They're just, something's broken.
Yeah, like what do you do at that point as a parent? Like,
I don't know.
Like when your kid starts,
You Dexter him, you fucking tell him you only do that to the bad people. Right? Only diddle bad people.
Right? From the guys that brought you the Diddler, DC's darkest comic yet. Help me!
Dude, all the criminals would be so afraid. Don't. Like,
You let her
see
go.
People pulling a TV out of a window, and just like a diddler jumps down. They're like, "Oh no!" And he's like, "Come here."
And what's great is the characters that you're describing during the TV. It's like an old TV, like
Yeah,
it's an
yeah,
old
it's like the big box TV.
1950s TV in modern New York. We gotta get out of here. The diddler comes
Like
down.
in Ninja Turtles 1, remember like the back of the the back of the van, the foot
Oh,
soldiers?
yeah.
It's all giant TVs and VCRs.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, I just wanted to mention that because I know I talked
sad.
about it beforehand, and it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I guess, what do you say, right? What do you do if you have these feelings to do wild things? I don't know. Talk to someone,
I don't know.
work out,
maybe
find a girlfriend who looks like she's 16. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to help the rest of the crazy ass people out there. Maybe. Do you have any rants? Any notes? I
don't
do
know.
have a couple things on here.
Maybe the kids were asking for it. I don't know. What were they wearing?
That's my Marge. The one thing that I do have solace in is that none of the children at the dance school were involved in it.
I know.
It sucks that it was everybody at the house.
Dancers are so hot too.
Well, but yeah, I can't. I don't want to keep talking about it.
Yeah, that's all right.
All
Let's
right.
move on.
Any rants? Anything like that? Anything touching your giblet? Any of your goats?
I've just been so busy, man. Honestly, yeah, I've just been busy. I'm working on like 4 fucking scripts at this point.
Juggling.
Yeah, juggling,
All right.
doing this stuff. So no, I mean, I got nothing to really complain about.
Good. Any notes?
No, the one thing was Snowden.
Yeah,
that was
I'm gonna watch that.
was the really important thing. I was telling you, I watched a couple of cool shows that I've been playing. That Mafia 3. That's a fun one.
Nice.
You play like a 1968 period, and you're a black Colombian or black Puerto Rican, something like that, and in Louisiana, and you come back from the war from Vietnam, and now you're starting to like take over the town.
You know, I was playing around with this idea in my head of during Prohibition, a movie about the dudes who were still growing mad weed. Because during Prohibition, weed was usage went up, just like alcohol did.
Yeah,
but it's never really talked about a lot. Like, you don't.
No, they don't really.
You never hear a story.
Weed was probably bunk too back then. It was just like a weed outside.
So I was thinking of. Do you remember that Lawless movie with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
That mixed with Pineapple Express, and it would just be an old school weed growing.
Yeah,
flappers.
But why? Nah, you know what would be cool? Make it like Harlem Nights.
Ooh.
But
Eddie with Eddie Griffin? Or Eddie Murphy?
Well, no, I mean, you don't need Eddie Murphy. I just mean like put an all-black cast, like Snoop Dogg should be in there. And this and
Whoa,
that.
for sure. Yeah. If anything, and you mix it a little bit with ATL. Do you remember ATL when the Outcast made that movie, the musical movie?
No.
Oh, that was good, man. It was set in slave times. And
Oh, yeah.
Outcast did all the music and Big Boy and everybody.
Yeah,
was up in that
I
jamming.
do remember that.
That shit was fire.
No, they found this 500-year-old skeleton of a woman and child in a tower in London.
Just lost her up there. Just forgot she was up there. That's what always scares me when I ever get in jail. I'm not ever, again, but I'm just saying, whenever they say, don't worry, we'll come back, I'm always like, no, you won't. Like, no, you won't. You won't come back. Nobody's ever going to come back. Like, something horrible's going to happen, especially in California. I mean, can you imagine being in the two towers or being locked up in the middle of an earthquake or like something horrible, like
That's
some type
probably
of like...
would be the safest. Like, that thing's not coming down.
What?
The towers?
Yeah. That bad boy will come
It's all
right
cages.
down. And then all them cages are going to fall on top of each other and it's just going to be a shit show.
So where would be the best place to be in
And we're fucked either way, big
Oh,
dog.
we're fucked, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's no... I mean, I was actually talking to my mom the other day about that, and she was like, well, with the fires and the earthquakes. And I said, Ma, don't worry about it. I was like, I'd probably just meet up with Sam somewhere up in the valley. I was like, and we just head north or something like that. And then I was like, really thinking about it. I was like, we're not getting the fuck out of the fucking valley. Like, we're not getting anywhere.
No.
Like,
I hear gunshots all the time
can't
out
go
here.
south. I can't go east. Like, we're trapped in here.
Yeah.
Like, even if we met
I
up,
thought of it too. I've looked at the map, stressing over the whole thing.
and I was just like, huh. I was like, you're cocky thinking you're going to take the dog, race up Sepulveda.
Like, I Am Legend.
405.
Against all these vampires.
Meet Sam, and then be like, we got to go. Like, but yeah, I mean, what are you going to do at that point? If something happens and the city breaks into the water, then we're fucked. We need a boat. We need to invest in a boat. We need to get a tax-deductible boat.
Yeah.
You need to sell a script.
need to
First
get
thing you do, sell a script.
Buy a boat.
Emergency sell.
Call it Noah's Ark.
Hell yeah.
No, I was thinking of getting a gun or something like that, and
Well, that's on my table right now.
Yeah,
There's a lot
just-
of other production.
yeah, no,
equipment,
you're
so.
like literally.
All right, hit me with a musical stinger. I got a couple notes real quick.
Okay. Oh, and get well soon, Harold from Harold and Kumar. We want you back
Is he
on your
dead?
feet.
Oh, that's right. We want him back. Did I tell you I saw him at a restaurant?
Yeah, I think so. I remember.
Yeah, he's tall. Tall Asian motherfucker.
Is he? I mean, so is Cowboy Bebop, dude. Hold on. What kind of beat you want?
Nah, I don't want anything. I mean, any type of beat is fine. Yeah, well, that does suck. Hopefully they can get back on their feet, get that
He's
beat
gonna be like that postponed the whole thing for like 7 months, 8 months.
9 months. He needs surgery and rehabilitation. I can't even imagine what happened to his knee, like, to require that.
Tore tons of ligaments.
Ugh.
I'd be like, dude, all right, well, let's just do all my headshots, all my close-ups.
I was going to say that, or be like, you guys have the technology to put my head
Yeah.
onto somebody else's body.
Yeah, so someone else had for me and just will 3D scan my face.
I'd like to get to a point as an actor where in my writer, I'd be like, if I go down, like if I physically get hurt, you need to replace me with like, Dustin Hoffman, or just like in the writer, be like, if I go down, like Dustin Hoffman has
Wouldn't
to come
it
in.
be funny
and play.
if two actor friends, like really good friends that were actors, that was in their contract. So if I get sick or if I go down,
That guy gets it.
And when same thing on his, he gets it. And how many times that would happen in their career?
That would be cool.
That would
That'd
be
be
funny.
funny. All right, notes. Couple of my notes. Oh, the TikToks. Can't believe you don't like TikToks. I love TikToks. I can't get over them.
They're all right.
All right. Here we go. Getting proposed to by a woman in a public area. Proposing to someone in a public area.
Bitch, get up. What are you doing?
How do you feel about that? All right, here. I'll break it down for you.
What would you think? Would you say yeah like that?
Well, I asked you first.
I just don't want to get married.
Like, let's say you're just hanging out. You're at, like, well, first of all, I was going to say you're at a sports ball game. And at that point, that's your first red flag. Because if anyone invites you to a sports ball game, you're not there. Or you don't like sports.
Sports ball?
Football, sports, basketball,
I was
hockey,
like,
or something.
I was like, what?
If a
game is
female
that
was
one?
like, hey, come on, let's go see hockey today or something.
I'd
Like,
go without thinking that I'm going to get proposed to.
really? Oh, from someone that you've been seeing for a hot minute?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I
think
feel
about
like that smells like
especially
crap to
Especially
me.
if they're not into it. If all of a sudden it was just like, hey, I got these cool tickets. They're like, yeah, let's go. And I would like.
You're the
I'd be
first
looking
one
at
to
the
get
nachos.
murdered. You're the first one
I'd
to
be
get
like,
murdered.
oh yeah, let's go up those stairs.
Hey, can you help me? My arm's broken. I can't get the surfboard in here. You'd be like, sure, bro. I got
Oh,
you.
you wouldn't help.
Look. All right.
You just look at the person like, no, I'm gonna get killed.
Nah.
They're like, dude, I'm trying to put my surfboard.
Gotta
up.
be ready at all times. All right. So you're there. Let's say you go to a concert. You're in the middle of a concert.
Or a sports ball game.
Sports ball game. She's just like, the kiss cam comes on. They're swooping. They pop on you guys.
Kiss cam, cool. All right,
You
I'll
come
do
over, you give her a little deucer, and everybody's like, oh, and then she drops down to her knees. She pulls out the ring. She's like, what's up, dog?
I gotta look at that ring real close. Look at that ring.
I
What you
think
spend on
putting
it?
someone in public and doing that is heavy. Like,
I like seeing them say no.
I
like
was
those
gonna
videos.
say
I like
the
those
exact
videos.
same
Yeah.
thing.
I've heard of people saying yes, and then once it's kind of everyone kind of goes back to what they're doing. They're like, "Look, honey."
Do you
no,
think that's the better way?
I've seen videos of that where it's just like everyone's like, "Yay, applause," and then 2 minutes later, she's going, "Honey, I can't. Like, this is like, I just said yes because I didn't want to put you in a bad spot."
Oh! All right, let me tell you a story. So when I was younger, I asked a girl out to homecoming. Or I was going to ask a girl out to homecoming.
With a knife.
And oh God. And I thought it would be a good idea. I thought it would be funny and cute if I went dressed up as a clown. Like, and had some balloons. It had to, there was...
You would.
There was
Bryan.
something in regards to why a clown. I was trying to remember exactly.
I was trying to get like a cool button up or something, looking slick, getting my hair in
No,
gel. And
I'm a
then
jokester. And through
and then
and
you're
through.
like, I'm gonna be a clown.
No, I'm a goof through and through, 100%. And I remember
I was slaying chicks in 4th grade.
I asked this chick. No, this was like 10th or 11th grade.
And you're a dumbass.
So I did the whole thing when I asked her in the comments, and there weren't a lot of people. There was a couple people there, and she said, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool, sicko." I'm an actor. The presentation is what it was about, And then 2 hours later, the exact same thing happened, and she was like, "Oh, sorry, like, I just said yes because I didn't wanna." And she was like, "I can't." And she's like, "No, like, I have a boyfriend, And I was like,
She was nice about it.
That's what I'm saying. So is it better to do that if a woman were to propose to you and you'd be like, yes, and then as soon as you go around the corner?
Because 20 years after that bad proposal, I would still cringe at not the no, but the everyone going, "Oh no." That's what I would. Yeah, you would.
That'd be the seed in your gut.
Well, yeah, because I would be over it. I'd be like, "Hey, it didn't work out with us." Like that, I can get over. Like that didn't work out with us. I proposed. No, that's sad. Yeah. But I proposed in front of so many people
at Disneyland, right in front of the castle.
Yeah, I was on camera,
and she's on her knees and she's looking at you, and she's like,
and people recorded it.
She starts crying after you. Yeah, she starts crying after you say no.
It's on YouTube.
She's like, "Oh." And you're like, "Come on,
doing no.
Come on, get up, please, get up."
Yeah, it's
everything I do for you.
Yeah, then you start like, just.
Oh my God, baby! I have AIDS.
You start making up lies.
Just throwing spaghetti.
I got
at the
cancer,
wall.
so I need you to be with me too.
You don't want to love a dead man. All right, well that was one, and then I only have one other note, and then we're freeballing it. That feeling you get when they open a brand new line after you've been waiting in the line all day. That's
wait, what? Like, so you've been in a long ass.
So you've been in a long ass line. There's only been one line, and
up.
then one line opens up, and you manage to get in there real quick.
And then you look at everyone else. It's like when a lane opens up or whatever when you pass all the people in front of you.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
That's a good feeling.
Now, what do you do when someone tries to cut you as everybody's going in there, and they're like, "Oh, I only have 2 items."
If it depends, yeah. If they only have 2 items, I was at Costco the other day, long ass lines. Yeah. I was only there for one thing because I was waiting on my eye exam thing. Nice lady up front, as she was about to start putting her stuff, she saw me, and I acted like I'm not gonna ask, I'm not gonna say anything, and then she was just like, "Hey, do you want to?" I was like, "Yeah, thank you."
No, I'll do that any day.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm sitting online and I've been waiting the whole time, and as I'm going over there, I see some old ass little whatever someone, and they just. And we're like, "Come on, lady." Like,
I fucking kick him in the kneecap.
Yeah.
And
take his dentures out.
Yeah, and I take his dentures out, and then I smash the dentures in the back of his head, and I tell him, "Here, motherfucker."
Ooh,
did you see? You saw me going at this line.
That is a lie.
You saw me going at this line.
And then
I take that cane of his, and I beat the squash out of his hand.
And then you look at the camera, and you're like, "With AARP, you can save up to 15% of your medical bills." And that's it. That's all I have as far as my notes. That's the end of my notes section. Now, it's time
to free ball. Let's take our pants off.
To free ball. No, I do have one thing that I'm getting set up for next week. That is going to be an interview with Chris L'Orange.
Who's Chris L'Orange? The Orange? Chris the Orange.
Chris the Orange. Our old neighbor. Works at CAA, writes checks for the fancy people, writes those $10,000 checks to all
Chris who?
Chris next door. Chris, his
flat
name
top?
is L'Orange. What? No, weird Chris.
Yeah, with the flat top.
I guess a flat top. I don't know.
Flat top. The army flat top.
No. What?
Which Chris?
Bikes everywhere?
Oh, that Chris.
How many Chris's do you know? How many Chris's do we know together?
I'm thinking of our last apartment, not the apartment before that.
That dude's name wasn't Chris.
I know. That's why I was confused. I was like, Chris with the flat top?
I don't know. What?
Okay.
We didn't even know our neighbors at the old apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, other than not Chris.
Yes.
Other than Rick.
Rick.
Other than Rick. And
I knew there was a
other
in there somewhere.
Yeah. I knew there were letters in there. Yeah, Chris.
So that's cool. So he's coming up?
He's not going to come up here. I'm going to go down there and meet him. Or we'll go down there. Someone's going to go down there.
Yeah, because he's not going to bike his ass all the way up here.
Well, and it's just inconvenient. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to work within everybody's schedule on that end. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of my overall
So my
goal
new
with that.
schedule at work is Thursdays through Saturdays now.
Why? What happened?
I was Friday through Sunday.
Yeah.
I just wanted a weekend off.
Oh.
So I just shifted.
And he was cool with that?
Actually, I just kind of mentioned it to the guy that I could have shifted with.
Oh, that guy.
And he was just like, "Hey, I'll do it."
Oh, okay.
But Problem is, now that I thought about that, I'm like, Saturday, Sunday is free parking, so I'm gonna miss the parking day.
Well, if there's anything to be had from it, it's just the compensation of knowing you can switch your schedule like that.
That's true.
And not have to, fight or argue or.
No, I just kind of said it in passing, and he was like, "No, man, I'm really down." I think he just wanted a weekend spot.
Who the guy?
Yeah.
He's probably missing it a little bit. You know what I mean? I also want to try and get in contact with what's his name, Bryan, so we can get something set up for him
for sure.
as well. Because I think
He's a talker.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And we're just following. We can get those guest things figured out. But there's another podcast that I'm following up on, and this is going to be our subject for the day, my friend.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the nitty-gritty of the camel. Yeah. What do you know about the American camel, my friend?
The American camel.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So I started listening to a podcast called History Unplugged. It's pretty cool. It's like 15 to 30 minutes for each different one. The other day I heard this incredibly interesting episode about camels. Camels, my friend. And it
Why
all
are you
started
talking like that?
This is my presentation voice. It all started years ago. It starts pretty much with the acquisition of the West, the Louisiana Purchase. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When Thomas J, Big Jeffy, as I call him, hit up the Frenchies and was like, "Yo, what's up, dog? Let me get that shit." And the Frenchies were like, "Word." For like however many doubloons and French shit, we need your
Franks.
wine, the best wine.
The Franks. They need French Franks.
The French Franks. And so after that happened, right, they were like, "Yo, dog, we need a new pack animal to discover the West." And there was this one homie who had been spending all his time over in Iran and Iraq and Saudi Arabia.
I got just the thing.
And he was like, "Yo, Prez," because him and Prez were homies. And he was like, and it's one of those old school presidents that you don't remember after after Jefferson, once
or whatever.
Wow. And he was like, "Yo, my guy, these dudes out here with their humps, they're crazy. Like, they can make it across these deserts. They can eat anything."
I know how a camel works.
You know mad camels.
Yeah.
I know you know how camels work. The whole point is
I'm pretty sure most people know how camels work.
Well, did you know that the camel's hump was not water but fat?
Yeah, it stores water.
I know. When I heard that, though, when I was in the car, I was like, "Oh."
I can't just put a straw in it.
I was like, we are 7 years old still. Like, the 7-year-old me would have been like, "There's water in that hump." I was like, "Oh, cool. I learn something new every day." And so they go into that bitch and they're like, "Yo, word, homie, bring some camels back." So they take this huge trip, like this huge adventure. They essentially go and they purchase like 3,000 camels, I'd say.
How do you bring 3,000 camels back?
You tell me.
Boat after boat after boat.
Yeah, I guess. And they load all the motherfuckers up and they start taking them to different ports because they need to learn more about camels. So it's just this insane expedition of this American guy who bought all these camels with the government's money, took him to different cameliers, as they're called, and
That I did not know.
picked up cameliers from different parts of the East.
So cavalier.
And finally comes back and lands in Texas with 300 camels left.
Crashes in Texas, and those camels went out in the wild and procreated.
And never since.
That's why we have these wild ass camels outside.
The chupacabra shows up every. And so they arrive at Texas with 300 camels, right? And this is like 1860 or something like that. So this is still very, very early.
What the fuck is this?
So 300 camels make their way from port into this tiny ass little town, and they throw this huge parade for these camels.
Tarnation, look at that weird cow.
They love it. They lose their shit. They're all about the camels. They love the cameliers because the cameliers are dressed up in fine Turkish outfits, and they're all they're like all Alibaba'd out, and they got bells on the, and they're like, they're just all their way through Texas, in the middle of white bread Texas. And so they go there and they start.
They're like terrorists.
Great, I love it. And so they're in there and they start this whole camel thing. They take it to the Fort Wayne or Fort whatever.
Camel jockeys.
And they have the camel jockeys start trying to teach American cavalier people, cavalry people how to manage camels.
Yeah,
you know,
they're different.
Very different. Apparently, they're stubborn. They bite. They spit.
Yeah, they spit. Have you ever ridden a camel?
Once
Yeah.
in Tennessee when I was like 5.
Yeah, I've ridden a few of them. I've ridden them in Egypt. I've ridden them in Turkey. But
They're tough, right?
yeah, it's scary, man, because when they stand, that fucking ass end goes way up first, and then it's the front. And so, like, you're kind of almost going to get toppled forward.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Like, every time I see it on there, because they come up from their little legs up that way. Like, it's a cool looking animal. Like, and apparently what happened was one of the reasons why it didn't work is because the American cavalry was like, well, we're not going to beat them the way the Saudis do to get them to do what they want.
Beat the shit out of that thing.
And it turns out you have to. You don't. Whatever. A camel's a camel, but that's the only way.
You can't just talk to it and be like, come on,
like a horse. You know what I mean?
Well,
Second thing that
a
happened.
horse, you got to break them too.
Camels and horses do not get along. So, yeah. So the people that would normally raise camels would. They are a little racist towards camels. So the people who would normally raise horses and potentially purchase camels at that time couldn't do it because the horses and the camels were traditionally scared of each other. Now, this goes all the way back to Macedonian times when the Macedonians used camels to charge into battle and used those camels to spook horses and discharge cavalry rushes from...
They're all running in a battle, spitting, scaring fucking horses.
Booking it. They're shooting arrows everywhere. It's great. So the camels are in there. They spend a little time there. They make their way to Arizona, your home state. There's statues in Arizona in certain cities dedicated to camels. And,
Camelback Mountain.
And what camel? That's whoa! No, did you know about that? Did you know about camels? Arizona camels?
There's camels. Yeah, I knew about.
You
it.
did?
Yeah.
There's camels, dog.
Camels in Arizona.
And at the end of the whole thing, when the whole plan fell through, because what happened was the Civil War started, and because the war wasn't making it all the way out its way to the Southwest, there was no reason in putting money into the Camel Project at that time.
They're like, yeah, the fight's not in the desert; it's up north.
So by the time the Civil War was over, and it was Andrew Davis, or Jefferson Davis was the one who backed up the Camel Plan to begin with. So once he lost, Abraham Lincoln and the Republicans who freed the slaves were like, hey, we don't need camels.
Yeah.
So they released the camels in Arizona. And there's mad wild camels sometimes out there. And there's statues to camels. And there's one famous cameleer. And his name is George.
George the Cavalier.
Greek George. And he started all types of business with his camels.
Called him GG.
Post office business. He would run mail with them. He would run cargo with them. He would do it was great, man. He never earned a lot, but he had a lot of notoriety. Everybody knew who George was.
A Greek in America that did that. Yeah, he was having a good time.
Loved it. Great times. And that's what happened, man. And then they let all the final camels go out in Arizona, and there is old spooky stories that tell of one time back in the day when nobody hadn't seen camels in like 50 years or something. They saw a big figure moving around in the night for like weeks, moving around, and it finally made its way towards the village, and it was a camel with a person tied to it. It was a skeleton, a human skeleton that had been riding on the back of the camel for 50 years.
What?
Yeah, dude. And apparently something happened. Like the camel just...
Was that Greek George?
No, Greek George lived to live a great, long Greek George life. But there you go, a crash course. You knew about camels, though.
I knew about camels, yeah. But I didn't know, like, I did not know about that. I didn't know why there was camels. I remember hearing something about in Arizona, yeah, they brought camels in at one point.
Hell yeah. Education, fool. Yeah. Well, there you
cool.
go. That is my spooky story about camels and how they still might be out there in the desert.
Skeletons attached to
Camels trying to eat your butt. Just waiting to find you and eat your butt.
Next to the tickler. No, it wasn't a tickler.
no, it's the piddler?
The diddler.
The diddler. and on dark, spooky nights, the diddler rides his camel around. And here,
The diddler
and his camel. He rides a camel through.
with his sidekick, some skeleton.
Skeleton boy.
Yeah.
Skeleton kid. All right. So, I do want to do something that we haven't done in a while. And this is just for me. But I want to play a game of Describe It Badly. We haven't played a game of Describe It Badly in a while. We haven't played a game in a while. We've been so enthralled with our talking.
Well, we haven't had... Well, the last time we didn't even have music or anything. Or...
Well, we were sponsored by Denny's, so
yeah, Denny's
we really focused on... Yeah, no. This show is sponsored by the Treat Network, so they love their music. But The reason this is brought up, and I should have bought the poster when I saw it, is I saw one of those like Spencer posters with 100 greatest one-liners of films.
That'd be cool.
And I was like, it would be kind of cool to grab that and then dissect the scene that each one of those
That sounds like a friend of mine's idea.
famous quotes. Yeah, well, that took me to the side there. I was like,
No, but I'm saying, that sounds just like an idea a friend of mine had. That was like, don't take this idea.
Oh,
now if I
shit.
do it,
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
be like, it sounds like I took the idea.
oh, well then
Because
I'll
his
do
thing
it.
was dissecting the quotes and the scene in the movie. And
that's literally it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
literally it. And I told you this, and you were just like, nah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
there's the seat.
So-
There's the seat on the other foot. If that's an expression, I don't know if that's a real expression.
Found some TV music.
My man. All right, guys, welcome to Game Corner. Previously established by the Mormons in 1873, was brought over when the Camels came. I'm just kidding. Game Corner today is going to be Describe It Badly. All we're going to do is we're going to take our favorite movies. We're going to take them and we're going to describe them badly. We're going to have the other person guess what movie it is. You can play along in the car as you're driving to your pediatricians. Don't forget your baby. All right, let's get into it. I'll start since I brought it to the table.
All right.
Here we go. Young man uses his feet to fend off frustration.
Young man uses his feet to fend off frustration. Forrest Gump.
No, but that's a good one. Here, put this here so I can hold it up to it while you're doing that. No, that's a good one though. Footloose, homie.
Oh. Hey. Yeah, but I thought he was frustrated or something, and he just started running.
Yeah, it was a good one. No, you were there. That's why I described it badly. That's why I'm so good at describing it badly. All right, your turn.
He's escaping. But is it a car or is it a truck?
He's escaping, but is it a car or is it a truck? He's escaping, but is it a car or is it a truck? Fuck you, dude. I'm gonna go with Is that a keypad? I was wondering what the fuck was going on. I was like, this is the weirdest YouTube mix ever. Okay, I'm gonna go with Over the Top.
El Camino.
El Camino. I don't think I've ever seen El Camino.
The new Breaking Bad movie.
I haven't seen it.
Well, it's a brand new fucking big ass.
How was it?
It was all right. It was very linear.
Yeah.
It was very. If you watch it, then I could talk to you about it because my thing is the whole arc, the whole movie in itself.
Okay.
It just seemed like a very homage-y movie. It's like, let's just get everyone in there. You have a couple of cool scenes, but nothing happened.
Okay.
You know, so
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
This music. Okay. Here we go. This one is a group of jungle boys race to the top.
A group of jungle boys. Lord of the Flies.
This is bad. I shouldn't have described it the way I did.
What?
Cool Runnings. But they weren't from the jungle. They were from Jamaica.
And what was the other part?
That race to the top. Well, I was gonna say race to the bottom, but I was gonna say sleds to the bottom. But if I had said sled to the bottom, you would have been like Cool Runnings.
Yeah, but you could have been like, I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? In context, if I say the three key words, black, sledding.
But you could have used other adjectives for the black part. There's other words.
I said jungle.
Yeah, you didn't say jungle people.
Jungle boys.
Yeah.
Because jungle
you're all-
people is not the right way of saying it anymore.
You're all
No homo.
No homo.
Okay, your turn.
guy who's being hold on. I don't know the word. Infidelity. Guy whose wife is being infidelity. That does not make any sense, but you get it. It's describing it badly. Has to fly. I'm trying to be everything I say. Well, because everything I'm like, gosh, that would just give it away. That would give it away. Let me think of another movie. Army tells the Smurfs to leave town.
Avatar.
Yeah.
I just had to stare you in the soul there for a second and be like, what is it?
I mean, come on, Army people.
You're right. And then you said Smurfs. And yeah. Okay, that's a good one. Okay.
You got to make him so we can figure it out.
Yeah, you're right.
The other one was True Lies. And I was going to be like, guy uses secret, like that on
Okay.
wife's infidelity.
Hot chick gets... Oh, okay. Hot chick cucks a city. Hot chick cucks a city.
Hot chick cucks a city.
A hot chick cucks a city.
How do you cuck a city?
By going with another city.
A hot chick cucks a city by going to another city? I don't know.
Troy.
I guess.
That's a very refined red
chick.
wine.
I'm a hot chick.
We can drink Mad Dog 2020s if you want that
chick.
quality of description.
You could have said anything else like princess.
But that would give it away, though.
I don't fucking know. You can't just say hot chick or like cucks a city. How does she cuck a city?
Because she goes to another city.
No, she goes and tries to marry another dude.
In another city, Paris.
Yeah, but she's not cucking everybody.
I don't know how many times you've been cucked.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No.
Your turn. I think that's probably the last one. 2 years.
All right. Underground facility escaped badly in this I don't know. I just keep going until a word. Until
something comes.
All right. A parrot helps this upset chef escape an underground facility.
Come on. Deep Blue Sea, dog. Yeah, the parrot, either Aladdin or Deep Blue Sea. I don't know what other movies with parrots in them.
Yeah, there isn't, huh?
All right, I got one. Okay. Selena takes a jungle cruise.
So J-Lo goes somewhere.
Selena takes a jungle cruise.
Selena.
Right? Takes
Okay.
a jungle cruise.
Anaconda.
Chances are.
Is it Anaconda?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You
I was
already know.
I was like J-Lo in the jungle. I saw that in the theaters, I remember.
I was literally about to sing. Chances are you already know what it is. Yep, Anaconda, bro. John Voight does an insane Spanish accent in that movie.
It's a wild movie.
The Cuban sound. There you go. That was fun. I hadn't played that in a while, and I saw that movie quote thing, and I was like, man, what's describing each one of those quotes badly or something like that, or trying to describe the movie badly. There we go. We did it, man.
We did it.
I'm proud of us.
I didn't pull anything.
Yep. Nope. Episode 39, guys. Thank you so much. I really hope that camera's still running.
Who gives a shit?
Fine.
It's not like we're
make sure that you guys
anyway.
check out everything on YouTube. That's going to be under Binge on this. Make sure that you guys go and check out and please review What's Hood with Forever Cabron on iTunes, Spotify, CastBox. Make sure that you guys...
Did that thumbnail work?
Thumbnail's
right?
Great. Go check out the new thumbnail.
I just sent you another one that's a
I
square.
haven't seen
It's a
anything
square
next.
version of it.
Make sure that you guys keep an eye out for Happy News with Perry Kurtz. We're going to have some new episodes coming out with that soon. We're also going to have some of our newest episodes of our newest show. Coming out for you guys soon. Jeez, I don't know why I have the hiccups right now.
I gotta get going, dude. I'm actually late.
Late already?
Yep.
And then that's it. As always, remember to love each other.
Bye.
Stay safe and dream the dream of 1,000 dreams.
Geronimo!
Goodbye.